Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm looking rough right now. um, it's been a long couple of days with moving. I've been in the process of moving and trying to just get things out of the old place and into the new place, trying to, scavenge through all the things in here, finding what I need. It's just been a wild ride. Actually even lost my camera thus far, which is really, really depressing to me. Don't know where that camera is. Literally the most valuable thing that I own is missing. And I just have a gut feeling that it's not anywhere in the new house, nor is it in the old place. So I don't know. I don't know. It's very unfortunate to lose a camera, especially my baby. This camera is my literal baby. It's the most valuable thing to me. So I don't know what to think. Hopefully she pops up somewhere, but I don't foresee that to happen. But anyways, I did not come on here to vent about my camera. Maybe I kind of did. Actually, I wanted to talk about a subject that has come up recently, and I thought it was a really good topic to bring up here on my YouTube channel. Anyways, that topic happens to be, can we live off of one income as a traditional feminine woman who wants to be at home and not work or only work part-time? Is it possible to live only on your husband's income alone as the sole provider? And I was actually talking about this with my dad the other day, and he brought up a really great point. He said that, when he was in his 20s, when him and my mom got married, like, the cost of living was just astronomically different and much more affordable than it is now. And he was like, I remember paying like $200 or a little over $200 for rent, and living expenses were just, they have become like quadruple from what they were when he had first got married to my mom. And he was like, yet the salaries have very, very, very little increased since then. So I was just like flabbergasted. I was just like, how could we even wrap our head around the fact that housing was, you could buy a house for like what, $30,000, and your rent was like $200, and now that's like, you will never find a place that affordable ever again. And it's just so crazy to wrap your head around this fact. But he was saying that he just feels really, really sorry because he witnessed that point in time, and how the salaries have not, the wages have not increased since then, and how he just felt really bad because the men and women are now having to live off of dual incomes, with the woman's income being a factor in their lifestyle and in their living expenses and in taking care of the child or whatever. And I thought, that kind of triggered and stimulated me to a conversation about this. So, what I was saying was, this is 1000% the truth. Expenses were much less then, and it's skyrocketed since then. And I totally understand the frustration and the need to, or just the feeling of the need to live off of dual income. And here's what I want to say about that is that I get it from that standpoint. And this has a lot to do with the lifestyles that we've implemented just today versus, 30 years ago. They're just very, very drastically different. Lifestyle is much more fast-paced. There's much more consumerism than there was back then, and there's always an alternative and sacrifices and compromises that you can make in order to live alone on your husband's, as in the male's sole income as the sole provider. So overall, you really have to decide what and where your priorities lie. Because if you and your husband or your future husband, your priorities are building a family, getting married and then starting a family, then you need to not get comfortable. You need to set yourself up from the very beginning, not getting comfortable with living on dual income, and really just focusing on his salary in order to provide financially for the two of you and, however many children that you want to, create. So that is, not setting yourself up from the beginning on getting too comfortable with the two incomes if you know that you are going to want to start a family and then stay at home with the children, which is the wisest decision to make. And let me tell you, my sister and her husband are a perfect example of this. I really don't witness this very often in cities, but in small towns and villages and things, the women are much more traditional. Life is a little bit slower. Consumerism is not as prominent as it is, in the cities, obviously. And so they're my sister and her husband, they're only living on his income and all of his side projects and things like that because she has two very, very young children / babies. And she wants to be at home with them, and she doesn't want to send them off to daycare, and she really wants to be able to be interactive in their lives and in raising them. And so, obviously that's how my mom and dad did it. So it was never like a decision that they had to make. It was just like autopilot for them because that's how we grew up. And she never really knew any other way. So that's why it's always so interesting to me to like study her relationship dynamic and then me and like my other sister, and how we have been we've just seen such another way of living that, was kind of out of this sheltered box. And yeah, it's just so fascinating to me to just see the differences of, how the mind is so conditioned and how we are so masculinized as women, especially when we move to the bigger cities and we start going to school and we start, in the career world and working and stuff like that. So that's just really fascinating to me. But anyways, point overall, they never set themselves up from the beginning to work, to live off of both of their incomes. Anyway, so, what my father had said, he was like, I just feel so bad because, things are just so drastically more expensive now, and living on one income then was just completely feasible. And I was just like, yeah, I totally understand it from, a certain perspective. But at the same time, it's like, we have to realize that it's still feasible. We just have to understand how we have to really become aware of how we're living in our lifestyles. And that might mean, compromising and sacrificing some of the things that we do. If priorities lie in building a family. And I was saying to him, like, it doesn't mean that one way is bad and the other way is the right way, or, you should only be doing things a certain way. I'm a perfect, person to speak on this because I don't have kids, and I actually don't really plan to. I want a different kind of lifestyle, and that it's okay to have a woman who, works and, pays for certain things and helps to implement a certain kind of lifestyle that her and her partner desire. So it's not that it's one way is good and one way is bad. It's about priorities. And that if you are wanting to build your family, then yes, the priorities need to lie on only relying on your husband's income. Now, if you're an older couple, or you already raised your kids, or your priorities are just, you and your husband traveling around, living the luxurious lifestyle, and you kind of need, to be able to work just in order to better afford things or go on certain trips, then that's perfectly fine. This is really, again, all about priorities. And if, you're building your family and that means, downsizing your home, or, not shopping so much and just kind of having a basic wardrobe, or, trying to fast from all of these influencer videos of, all the cool finds that they find on Amazon, which I actually end up falling into that rabbit hole myself. But, it's all built for consumerism. That's the whole point of, this influencer lifestyle, is really promoting consumerism. And so, again, if that means that you have to sacrifice the shopping, sacrifice the expensive trips, sacrifice maybe your bigger home and just downsizing into something much smaller, then that's what it requires, and that's okay. You can make those adjustments until the time comes where your husband is able to fully provide, all of your dreams that you desire to have, right? You just have to be really aware of and budget yourself, if you have to budget yourself, of where your money is going, what you can cut back on, how many times you're eating out in a week, how many trips you're going on, how much you're shopping for things that you really don't need. And then, kind of adjusting even if you are shopping, adjusting those shopping habits to thrifting. I absolutely love thrifting. I am obviously a vintage girl, so I love to find antique finds and, vintage older things. So thrifting is really just in my, interest. But yeah, if that means thrifting or finding, used items on Marketplace or whatever, like doing whatever you have to do and making those small sacrifices and compromises in order to be able to, solely live on your husband's income, if that's where your priorities are. And I think that's the most important point of this video overall, is just, that you can live on your husband's income as the sole provider if you have to, and if it means necessary, if it deems necessary. And, people are still out there doing it. So it's not totally impossible. Again, I totally just, I can totally feel, the pain of how it has, increased as far as pricing and just having a less affordable, housing and lifestyle. Because again, my father, he told me about how drastic it was. So I do understand it from that point. But the point being overall is you just have to make the sacrifices and figure out where your priorities lie. And I think that's all I wanted to say for this video. If you find this to be helpful, share it with a friend, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video down below. You can also send me an email. I do offer one-on-one coaching if you are, in your journey of femininity, wanting to live a more slower paced lifestyle, wanting to embrace more of your femaleness. I can help you out on that journey. All you have to do is send me an email, or even if you're having relationship issues and you need guidance and counsel on that, send me an email. All these links will be listed down in the description box. And yeah, until the next video, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.